MetaQuest Plus is here, but what is it? Is it worth it? And should you get it? Hey, what's up? I'm Matt, and welcome to BMFER, your unofficial home for all things Quest. Today we're talking Quest Plus and answering all the questions that you have. First though, what is Quest Plus? Quest Plus is Meta's brand new paid subscription gaming service that allows you to pay a monthly fee to gain access to new games every month. Now let's dive into exactly what that means. First up, what does it cost? Well, first up, there's an introductory price that's $1 for the first month. So if you don't have either of the games that are being launched for the first month and you want a chance to play them for $1, then I highly recommend doing that. We'll get into what games are included for this month and the following month in just a minute. Normally though, it is $7.99 a month, but you can pay $59.99 for a full year. That actually brings the price under $5 a month. It's like $4 and some change. It's actually a really good deal if you can afford to pay the year, and there's some other criteria that make it a good deal, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Next up, how many games do you actually get a month? So you get 2 games every single month, starting at the beginning of the month, and you have the entire month to claim them. If you do not claim them by the end of the month, just like with PlayStation Plus, and I'm going to be talking a lot about comparisons between this and PlayStation Plus because there's a lot of similarities, you will lose out on those 2 games. So if you have a subscription, do not forget to redeem the 2 games. Otherwise, unfortunately, you're out of luck. So 2 games, 2 new ones every single month. So that begs the question, do you get to pick the games? Sadly, no. It would be awesome if there was like a pool of games that you could pick from that shifted every single month. Unfortunately, it's just 2 curated, chosen games by Meta. Supposedly, it's going to be kind of a more mainstream game and then a second, more hidden gem type of game. A lot of people are not going to like this probably, but again, comparing it to PlayStation Plus, it's similar to the way they curate their monthly PlayStation Plus games. PlayStation Plus does come with other benefits for paying that monthly fee. So for Quest Plus, what you're getting each month is just 2 games. We're going to get into what the games are for the next couple of months in just a minute, but first off, do these games accumulate? Yes, they do accumulate. So you redeem them at the beginning of the month. You don't have to worry about having a month to play them. As long as you're a subscriber, then you get to continue to play the games. That goes into our next question, but just give me a second. So each month you're accumulating more games and it's becoming more valuable to you. Your library for Quest Plus is becoming more valuable. Every month you pay, you add games to it. Now, that begs the question, do you get to keep the games or do you have to be subscribed? Well, just like with PlayStation Plus, you do have to be subscribed to actually play these games. And also, like PlayStation Plus, if you unsubscribe, you lose access, but they stay in that Quest Plus library. So if you resubscribe 6 months later or the next month, or you need to take a month off, then you have that same library waiting for you to resubscribe. You're not going to lose access to all the titles you've been collecting just because you unsubscribe. Which again, I'm doing a lot of comparisons here, is exactly like what PlayStation Plus has to offer, so you don't have to worry about losing your library if you have to take a month off. You can actually technically cancel anytime, so if you wanted to subscribe and then stop the auto renewal, you could see what the next games are for the next month and then renew once you knew what the games are. Which brings me to something else. We do not know the games ahead of time, just like with PlayStation Plus, until the beginning of the month where you get those games, except for next month and the following month. They did release those games to us. Now, before I get into what those games are, what happens if you actually own these games already? Unfortunately, just like with PlayStation Plus, again, if you own these games already, then you're out of luck, unfortunately. So if you own one of them, then you can redeem the other one. If you own both of them, then you're out of luck for that month, which is why I said if you're going to do monthly, it might be advantageous for you to cancel your subscription before the end of each month, just to renew if you don't have the games, or if you want to continue to play the games that you currently have in your library, re-renew, or whatever. You know, there's some creative options you can have. Now, if you do it by the year, you're not going to have that option. But again, the year is saving you $2 and some change every single month, so it's probably worth just dealing with the fact that maybe you might not have a game or 2. Now, we're going to get into some criteria, I think, that make this most worth it at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Now, let's talk about what games are coming next month and the following month. So, for the first couple of months, July's games are going to be Pistol Whip and Pixel Ripped 1995. 2 excellent games. If you don't have them in your library, well worth that $1 to sign up. If you sign up through the end of July 31st for that first month. Now, a lot of people already own those games, so the chances are if you've been playing for a while on the Quest platform, you have at least one of these, but maybe not. August games are Walkabout Mini Golf and Mother Gunship Forge. Walkabout Mini Golf is a must-have. Mother Gunship Forge I haven't personally played, but it looks like a lot of fun as well. As I mentioned, you get to keep the games as long as you are a subscriber to the program. And if you already own a lot of these games, it might not be the best program for you. So that kind of brings me to my who is this for? Now, the reality is that a lot of people, if you play multiple times a week, you've been in the ecosystem since the original Quest, you've been collecting games, there's a good chance you have at least one, if not both, games in your library for at least some of the time during the course of this program. Now, if that is the case, if you've been around that long, then you probably don't want to get this. But I don't personally think it's really meant for those of us that have been playing this for such a long time. I'll get into that in just a second. First off, though, if you look at those 4 games to start off with, if you don't have any of those, that's a pretty good indicator that you are probably going to enjoy this program because there's 4 games just for you in the first 2 months that you don't have that are a lot of fun to play. If you have all of or half of those games, then you might want to consider waiting until we see what the next month is going to be before subscribing. And then at that point, possibly getting the year-long plan to save money so you can get the most out of it. This is meant, in my opinion, for new Quest users or those that don't play that often and don't have a large library. If you have a big library of games, you're probably going to be disappointed at least some of the time because those games are going to pop up in the Quest Plus platform and you're not going to be able to redeem an additional game. If you've got discretionary income and you don't care and you just want to throw the $59 at the platform and just hope that you get games and enjoy the games that you do get, that's totally acceptable, and some people will probably do that just based on wanting to save some money or the possibility of saving money. Now, there's not currently any additional perks to being a Quest Plus membership. I hope that one day we'll see some additional stuff, like maybe some special DLCs or some special home environments or additional stuff that makes Quest Plus even more worth just having these 2 games. Currently, though, it is just those 2 games. So really, it's meant, I think, for those of you that either don't have a Quest yet and plan on getting one, or those of you that don't have a large library of games. Like I said, a good indicator would be these first 4 games. If you don't have any of them, then you probably will enjoy the platform. In my personal opinion, let's speculate here for just a second. Quest 3 launches this fall, right? Quest 2 is still being supported. I think they're going to have a massive marketing push for the holiday season for Quest 2 and Quest 3, and I think you might see some bundling for Quest Plus with Quest 2 and Quest 3. That means that new users possibly would get like a year of Quest Plus on top of buying that headset to make it even more value. A lot of the time they do bundle games with it during the holiday season. So instead of bundling specific games, I could see them bundling a Quest Plus membership with a new headset for Black Friday or for the holiday season, which would be great for someone new to the platform because that gives them essentially 24 games that they don't own over the course of a year that they can play. Granted, they would have to resubscribe to Quest Plus at the end of that year just to keep access to those games, but it would be like a rental service where they get to play all those games while they have it for free, and it would just be additional games they wouldn't have to buy with their new headset. To me, that's personally what I think this platform's really for. I think it's going to be designed to bundle, to sell headsets, and just add value to these headsets for new buyers and for people that don't play all that often. Me personally, these games, Mother Gunship Forge is the only game I haven't played out of those first 4 games, and it's also one that I don't know that I really care to play. I mean, it looks fun, but it just didn't pique my interest. So out of this 4 games, if I was to see this as an individual, I probably would not get this platform or program just because I've already got the 3 games and I've played them that are the ones that I really want out of those first 2 months. Also, when you look at something like this, if you consider the fact that Gamefly and other rental services, not so much rental stores anymore, they don't really do that, at least I don't have any around where I am, but physical games, like from Gamefly, you're going to pay, what, $14.99 or is it $19.99 now a month for one game at a time? You don't get to keep the game, you have to pay to continue to play it, and then you got to send it back and forth. At least this is digital, right? So I would consider this less an ownership platform. They say you own the game in your library. This is more like a rental platform, a continuously building rental platform. So if you're going to pay a monthly fee, it allows you to rent these games to play for a more permanent time period as long as you're paying. To me, that's more comparable to what this is. That's kind of what I view PlayStation Plus as well. I don't really see those games as owning them in my library. In fact, I always keep in mind what's in my library, because if I see a good deal and I want to buy the game that's already there because of PlayStation Plus, I will buy it just so I permanently have access to it in case I don't resubscribe to PlayStation Plus. The same idea with this. This at least gives you the ability to play these games at a discounted rate for a longer period of time, and if you like one of them and you want to purchase them, then you can go ahead and do that. What I'd love to see is Meta actually give discounts on games added to your library from Quest Plus. So say you've got Quest Plus and you've got Walkabout Mini Golf. What if they could give you a small, even discount off of that game based on the fact that you're a Plus member and you want to buy the game to keep it in your library? Something like that would be great. At least with Quest, they're not forcing us to get Quest Plus to have online game access now. I know some platforms do that, and I'm glad that Quest is not one of them, because I think that would be shooting themselves in the foot. They already have a hard enough time getting people to consistently play on the headset online for long periods of time. That, in my opinion, is everything you need to know about the Quest Plus. The price, $7.99 a month or $59 a year, $1 if you do the first month, and before July 31st. It's available right now. You can go do it at the link in the description. You get 2 games at a time. Meta chooses those games, and if you have them already, then you miss out. You don't get to get that game. If you don't redeem the game before the end of the month, you miss out on the games as well. You get to keep them as long as you are a part of the platform and you're a paying subscriber, and they do accumulate. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer some questions in the comments, and if you see a question you know the answer to, put it down in the comments as well. What are your thoughts on this, though? I know it's kind of two camps, maybe a little bit in the middle, too. Either people hate it and they think it's an awful idea, or people like it and think it's a great idea even if they're not going to use it. In my opinion, I think it's great for new people to the Quest, not so much for veterans like myself that have been playing for a couple of years, or 4 years, I think, now that I've been playing since the original Quest, and I've accumulated such a large library of games that I don't think that this would be of value to me. But let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for all things Quest, and happy questing.